Yo, internet. Welcome back. It has been a bit. Yeah, so long, in fact. I don't think I've made a video since the whole COVID-19 started. So, let me show you what I got going on today. Looking at this dusty but trusty Fusion. Last video, dialed in some camber, and this car hasn't moved out of this spot since. Literally got that all dialed in, and then shit hit the fan globally. So here we are. What am I doing? These Wilwood brakes, awesome, wear out super fast. I probably only have like, I don't know how many drift runs on these particular pads and rotors, but they bite really awesome. Handbrake, super consistent, effortless. And the pads are gone and the rotors are pretty gouged, so I just got my order today from Summit, all the replacement, plus there should be one more item than just the regular brake job that I'm going to do, and I'll show you what that is in a bit. Alright, you saw me unpackage it. That box was beat. It's about as big as a box can get without losing the parts. Rotors, I remembered, it's basically just the disc, because the rotor hats are custom JTP units that I gotta unbolt and screw back on. And this little gem is also in that one bigger box. So I even noticed during Desert Mayhem that the rear brakes seem to be locking up first, and I got the balance bar kind of biased in the pedal box there to go front first, but one time I was able to rip down after a run real fast, hit the brakes on a corner, and the rear end kind of locked up first. Plus, even the rear brakes, the regular foot brake, were just about as wore out as the hydro. The hydro brake pads were just about to the metal. So I'm going to install this little guy, hopefully in a convenient spot. There's a few junctions I do have in mind, but yeah, and then you see this. Kind of disappointed, Summit. All the pads not in the box. Super neat. So, guess I'll get back here. Alright, with the quickness, got the rotor calipers off, and already got the old rotor off the rotor hat. Ready to go get some Loctite. Throw those little Johnnies back on there and get this side over with. Still got the other side to do. And then I gotta think of where I'm gonna put this proportioning valve in for the rear foot brakes. Alright, so got the 1 foot caliper bracket or caliper on. Gotta compress the pistons yet, so that's why I mounted this already, so I can have a little leverage working for me. So yeah, doing live things over here. Oh shit. So yeah, it's coming along nice. Alright, rotor swapped, new rotor on, new brake pads in. Just had to push the pistons in to slide those things right in there. Still got the handbrake rotor to do. Now I checked my master cylinder level. I never had to add any since it's basically a brand new build, so wasn't worried about it overflowing. However, on this set, I might have to watch this little guy because she's pretty topped off. Might have to suck some out of there. So yeah, it's going well. About as well as you can expect. Creeper. Anyway, like I imagined, brake pads for the handbrake caliper went in without a hitch. It's actually able to compress. Come on, what's going on over here? Where's my juicer? Anyway, it's able to compress the pistons in the caliper by hand actually, and off of the, not attached to the backing plate. So that was super neat. So now I get to do the other side. I'm not gonna bore you with that. All right, like I said, I wasn't gonna bore you with the other side. Done, no drama. Rotor in, all that good stuff. I kind of wicked some brake fluid out of this reservoir because I did top it off after it got low because I didn't think I was gonna do these pads and stuff. But so now I'm gonna work the brake. It's gonna have to move the pads in the caliper just a wee bit. There it is. It's starting to get, you can feel the action. Yeah. So once I get some brake fluid, I'll top it back off. And now I'm gonna go scout the chassis or the rear brake line to see where I want to put that proportioning valve at. All right, after some investigating, I have decided to basically replace the line that goes from the front here all the way to the back. There's a T that goes to the rest of the brakes. But in order to get this line here, this one is going to the rear brakes. And it's a bit of a P to get to the master cylinder, so I'm gonna have a great old time. I'm gonna splice or cut it off right about here so I can have enough room to work with it, kind of bend it up because it is a like nickel copper line, and so I can have a little room here to flare it. And remember to put the nut on before I flare it. I'm going to mount my proportioning valve right there, and then we just make a whole line from the proportioning valve to the back. And I got all my tool set up here. It took me a fortnight to find my nutsert tool, but found that. So proportioning valve, gonna mount it, nutserts, and probably gonna have to space that out a little bit because that's gonna get in the way. Flare tool, bender. Didn't have a nickel copper plate. Brake lines. So I'm gonna kind of make it neater. I wasn't too excited or proud of the line that went to the back that I made originally. So use the bender and make it a little nicer. And so now, I guess that leaves me to, I'm gonna probably mount this first. Yeah, I don't know. Probably take the line out or cut it where I said I was going to and go from there. So after some deliberation with the brain trust, just myself and I decided I really like this position for the proportioning valve. And as I was pondering and cutting this line and figuring that out, I was like, you know, it seems like an asinine way to do it. So I put my big boy pants on, got in here, and actually looked. I can reach the rear brake line off the rear brake master cylinder, although you have two separate master cylinders. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show you this, but ooh, it's way deep in there. Anyway, there's the line coming off of there. You might be able to see where my finger ends up. Right here, I can get a wrench on fairly easily. And so when this might have enough length, and it is that nickel copper line, to come out of the firewall and then reach the inlet. No, come out of the firewall and go into the outlet of the proportioning valve, and then I make just a line going to the inlet to the master cylinder. I knew I was going to mix that up in my head, and I really got to double check myself on that when I finally do it. So I just cracked that fitting loose, and I'm going to get that line sorted and see if it'll reach. Alright, so I spend more time trying to find stuff than when I get done. This little guy's under a rag. Spent like 10 minutes trying to find it. Anyway, pretty pumped. I'm pretty damn sure that line that was in the master cylinder on the other side of the firewall is going to reach to my proportioning valve. So right now, got my little Rube Goldberg project going on here to let that drain into my pan. And now I'm going to kind of manipulate this line. And I'm glad I used the copper nickel again. I said that like 14, at least 15 times to swing it over this way and mock up the proportioning valve. So, the line is absolutely perfect length for what I want to do. So I'm going to, as you can see, install it here. So I'm going to try and do this on camera, but I'm going to hold it here. I'm going to take this little transfer punch. Like the set I have, it fits perfectly in this hole, and then with that little point, it'll put, if I can tap on the other side with a hammer, or just give it a little one of those, put a little dimple, at least in the paint, if not the metal, for a good pilot, so I can drill perfect. So I'm going to end up using a nutsert to attach that thing to the strut tower. Alright, so couldn't do it on camera, but I'll show you. Yeah, you can see those little D pops and the red light of the GoPro blinking. So I was able to put a mark in the paint just enough to see it, and then it came back and got it lined up and gave it a couple few taps of the hammer there, and have a good pilot to drill the hole. Alright, one insert in, went pretty damn well. I, for once, made sure that my tools would all fit in this space before starting the process, so yeah, it is a little close to that edge, but that's where it ended up. Alright, so I got proportion valve mounted, brake line in and plumbed. If you notice, there is a screw missing. I was feeling super good about the placement of those holes, and it was like so close, but just cranked that on. Not too proud of it, but I mean, that thing is not moving. Good clearance on my brake line, so now I just got to bleed the system. Alright, so I don't know who built this, but they didn't make filling the master cylinder for the clutch or brakes very easy. Yeah, I contemplated on just taking the dash out, but I got it done. Got my vacuum bleeder, solo bleed job, pedal feels good. So I guess I can put everything back together and take this thing for a little rip down the street. It's been, I don't think it's left this garage since winter. So yeah, anyway, I think that's where I'm gonna sign off. I'm not gonna, you guys have seen plenty of clips of me just going down the road, pretty boring stuff. But what is exciting is this is probably the last video I'll put on YouTube coming from this garage. Yesterday I just closed on a new house. Garage isn't as big, but I'm going to be building a shop in its backyard, so I'm going to be moving over the past month. But even before that, what's also exciting is Jimmy Up in California, Willow Springs, May 30th. Fusion's going to be there. I would invite and love for all you guys to come out there, but it's a spectatorless event. I'm only allowed 2 guests, and the spots are already taken, so can't bring you. Anyway, so hope all is well in the internet land there, so thanks for watching.